We had a customer that brought us his 2020 F150. It's a 10-speed 3.5. It's tuned by one of the larger mail order tuning services. It just sounds like he never really felt comfortable with the truck. He was afraid to push it. So we just did a dyno baseline with the 91 tune that's been in the truck. He's been driving around on that. I just flashed in the stock file, and we're going to compare those two. And then I have a base tune ready to go with the new tune, so we'll compare that. So we're going to see all three. From there, in addition to that, we're going to add ethanol. So this will be the first F-150 we've done with ethanol, which on this it's probably going to be huge just because they are very octane limited. So getting that E85 in there, it should wake it up quite a bit and we can cram some torque in there. So
Sweet.
Sweet. Very sweet. Sweet like corn and ethanol. Alright, their tuning did some stuff.
The next day.
So yesterday we finished off with a couple baseline tunes with the factory tune and the other company's tuning. We got distracted by food, of course, so we had lunch, and then a big windstorm actually came in. So as you can tell, the shop looks a little dirtier than it was yesterday. We shut down the doors and decided not to dyno. I stayed late last night, worked on the 91 octane tune. It's an adaptive for 91 to 93. Got that dialed in, and then we started on the ethanol tuning for this. So that kind of leads us to where we are today. We got the ethanol tune dialed in pretty good. We'll finish it on the street just because the wastegate stuff changes on the street versus the dyno, even though we're loading it. We came in, warmed up the truck. We thought we were going to make pretty good numbers compared to where we were last night. And we were highly mistaken. The reason we think behind that is oil temp. So we know that boost and timing is correlated to engine coolant temp, but nowhere in there does it show oil temperature. And the very first pull we made today was down about, I think it was 50 horsepower from where we were last night, and quite a bit of torque as well. I think well over 50 foot-pounds of torque. So Doogie and I, the way that we are, we start digging into stuff. So we just did a log. There's 4 pulls on here, and the total time is 12 minutes. So we did 4 pulls within 12 minutes. Within that 12 minutes, we started logging oil temp. So when we first started it was at 186 degrees. You think that's probably okay to go wide open throttle, but it does actually hold us back on boost a little bit and a little bit on timing. So by the 4th pull, oil temp got up to 205, and we were basically at the same numbers that we were at last night. So a little bit of a learning curve for us there. We come in expecting to make more because everything's not heat soaked, and it's it's cool. It's been sitting for the better part of 18 hours. I finished around 7 o'clock last night. So. Whoa!
Amateur hour over there.
Yes.
We have to be kid friendly. That's how we get the most money on YouTube.
We get the red light wasn't on.
So, we talked a little bit about what happened today. Yesterday, after Doogie left, I re-baselined everything because I wanted it to be as equal as possible. So I re-baselined the stock tune. I re-baselined the other 91 octane tune, and then we finished the 91 tuning, our 91 octane tuning before that. So it's the final pull. So we did 3 pulls within 15 minutes. I gave 5 minutes of cool down in between each run, just to make it as fair as possible. And then I really started diving into the ethanol testing. So we'll go show you on the dyno. I'm sure Doogie will put up a picture of everything to kind of show where we're at, and then where we finished on ethanol. So I guess the real question here is, was ethanol worth it? Let's go find out. I don't know if you guys know if that or not. So, 312 horsepower. we know that it's a little down comparative to what they should be. Again, we have our dyno loaded. Our dyno being loaded does affect horsepower. Next pool, we have the tune that it came on. So that's a 91 Octane tune from someone else, a big company that does a bunch of mail order stuff. 367, 471. So absolutely picked up a ton. Not bad choice. Here's where we finished off on our 91 Octane. So 395 and 496 foot-pounds of torque. The stuff at the end of the graph is the wastegate stuff I've been talking about the whole time that we try to eliminate with loading the dyno. This is why we finished all the tunes on the street, just so make sure everything is 100%. So from here, we moved on to ethanol. And this is where I finished on ethanol last night. So we picked up almost 100 horsepower and 150 foot-pounds of torque.
Bomber's gonna get down now, boy.
It's gonna get down. So again, dealing with some wastegate issues, we're gonna finish everything on the street. So this is kind of what the expectation was when we came in this morning. Something similar to this, maybe a little better, but no. So let's kind of go over what we did today. So I'm gonna leave this up here as a baseline of where we were last night. This is our very first pool this morning.
They're like 4.
I know, this is legit the first one from today, where we monitor engine coolant temp, but we weren't looking at oil temp at the time. So, it comes in and drops 40 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque. We're like, what the heck happened? So we just kept going. So we just logged it the whole time, in every pool. Oil temp got a little warmer. Coolant temp was always in check. It was between 200 and 205 at the start of every pool. There was some cool down time allotted if we needed it. And then this is where we're going to finish off. So the 480 mark, about 600 foot-pounds of torque. That's pretty consistent. That's literally 4 pools within 15 minutes. That's as real as it's going to get on the dyno as far as temperature and consistency. So is ethanol worth it? Absolutely.
And what did the oil temp end up getting up to before things started to plateau off and it was making the maximum power?
195 is kind of where we needed it to be. It crested at like 205 at the very last pull. It didn't really come down below 200 after that. But we didn't really see a difference until we really crest the 195 to 200 mark.
This is after trailering it to Mexico, of course.
Yeah.
What's the difference between turning off traction control and turning off advanced track?
So advanced track is still there. It's like your babysitter. So it'll let you spin, but if it notices things get too wonky, it'll kick in and pull a bunch of timing and straighten it back out. And still, even with advanced track off, it still has stuff built in. So like if you try to do, say it snowed a bunch and you want to go to a parking lot and do some donuts, it will still kick on advanced track and cut power. So what I've had to do in the past is put it in 4-wheel drive and just do all-wheel drive donuts, and then all tires spin and it works perfect. Alright guys, that concludes our street drive portion of it. Basically the reason we do a lot of street driving is because that's what you do with the truck. The dyno is great for controlled conditions, consistency, comparing stuff. That way you can see what this does, what that does. But ultimately, you guys don't drive on the dyno. You guys drive on the street. We want it to respond how we need it to. We take that stuff very seriously here. If you have an Ecoboost F150, Explorer ST, or Ranger, and you want some more pep in its step, make sure you come see us here at FinishLine.